Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are well and are looking forward to the weekend. Oh my god, I honestly look forward to the weekend just because Jakob doesn't have school and he gets to spend the whole day with us. So that's the reason why I look forward to my weekends. Comment down in the section below, what do you guys get up to during your weekend? Do you like to just kind of like have a lazy weekend, or do you like to do things on your weekend? And if so, what are the things you like to get up to? I would love to know what you guys do during your weekend because I'm nosy like that. So I'm here with a story time video for you guys because you guys have been requesting this, and it is my labor and delivery story. I'm actually really excited to film this because first of all, I didn't think anyone would want to know about my labor and delivery story, but obviously some of you do, and I'm super excited to share my experience with my third child with you guys. So yeah, so let's just get straight into the video because I know I'll just be here the whole day rambling on. So if you guys don't already know, I gave birth to my third child on the 23rd of July, and I gave birth to a baby boy. He weighed 8 pounds 4 ounces and he was born at 12:30 a.m. So first of all, this pregnancy for me was one of the most stressful pregnancies I've had. So I already went through 2 pregnancies in my lifetime, and this one was one of the most difficult one for me. And I think it's just the fact that because I have obviously 2 kids that are under 5, and then I was pregnant, and it was just very difficult. Okay, so my due date was originally set for the 1st of August, but I got induced into labour on the 23rd of July, well, on the 22nd of July, because of stress, because of how stressed out I was with this pregnancy. But you guys will kind of understand more of that when I get more into the story. But yeah, so first things first, on the 21st of July, so I think probably around midday or something, I went to the hospital because I thought my waters were leaking, and they done checks and stuff and I wasn't leaking any waters. So I got sent back home. I was just doing on with my day. I was just doing my thing and whatnot. And then it hit, I think, maybe 9 o'clock in the night. And that day, luckily, the kids were at my mum's house. So it was like 9 p.m. and I could feel like contractions coming and going. And they were quite strong, but they wasn't like, it was bearable. I could bear them. So I had contractions coming and going. At this point, my contractions were quite frequent. So I called the labour ward, and they were like to me, okay, well, is it 5 minutes apart or something like that? Is it, how, basically they were just asking me questions about how far apart are my contractions and stuff. And then I was like to them, well, this is how far apart it is. I can't actually remember how far apart it was at this point. But they were like, okay, then just come in and we'll check you over and stuff like that. So I went in at, I think, maybe around 11:30. Yeah, I think I went just before 12 o'clock. So just before 12 a.m. I went, and they checked me over and stuff, and they're like to me, you're not dilated. Basically, I'm nowhere near labour. And I was just like, yeah, but I'm getting contractions. And they were like, yeah, you are, but it's not frequent enough, and they're not lasting long enough. So I was just like, at this point, just really annoyed, because I was like, well, they're still here. Like, the contractions were not going, they were still here. Like, usually when you have like I thought it was Braxton Hicks, but it wasn't, because usually when you have Braxton Hicks contractions, if you do, like, if you go into a hot bath or move around or something, it usually fades away or it goes away at one point. But these contractions were not going away for me. So when they're like to me, oh, have a warm bath, do this, do that, I'm like, I've done everything, because I have been pregnant before, so I do know what to do. So I was just really annoyed. Like, it wasn't even their fault. They have to say, like, tell you these things, you know. So I was just annoyed, and I didn't mean to get annoyed at the midwives that were there, but I was just getting frustrated. So they sent me home basically, but before they sent me home, I think one of the midwives just knew that I was really stressed out. So what they did was, when they checked my cervix and stuff, and to see how dilated I am, if I am dilated or whatnot, they gave me a little sweep. And usually they do that so they can kind of like help kickstart labor for you. And yeah, so I came back home, and I was just bouncing on the birthing ball. So I was just at home bouncing on the birthing ball, trying to start labor, trying to make my contractions more frequent and stuff like that, hopefully break my waters. Like, I was actually praying for my waters to break, because obviously as soon as your waters break, you are in active labor. So I was just praying that the birthing ball would help me break my waters, but unfortunately that did not happen. But my contractions did get stronger, and it was lasting a lot longer as well, so it was more frequent. And I think that had something to do with the sweep, when they sweep my membranes. So thank you to the midwife who did that for me. But yeah, so anyways, so obviously at this point we were like, okay, we're gonna have to go hospital again. So it was around 3 o'clock in the morning. We went to the hospital, and the lady who checked me, she was like, yes, you're dilated 4 centimeters, and that basically means that I can be put in the labor ward, so I'm not going home. And I was just like, yes, like, I was super excited about that. Like, it basically just meant that I was progressing. And if you've been through labor, or if you were pregnant and you were just exhausted from being pregnant, you will know how difficult the last stages of pregnancy is. So I was just super excited when they like to me, they're gonna put me in the labor ward, because I am 4 centimeters dilated, and at this point I was having continuous contractions. So yeah, so then I went into the labor ward, and then they basically checked me over, they got me ready and stuff like that. They were like to me, do I want gas and air, do I want anything? At this point I was like, no, this is not as strong, like, it's not as painful, I can handle it, but when I do need it, I will ask for it. So there was a student midwife and just a midwife there, and they were just like helping me through my contractions and stuff. And obviously Jakob's dad was there, so he was also helping me through my contractions and everything. And then I think it was around 6 o'clock in the morning, or 7 o'clock in the morning, is when I asked for gas and air, because my contractions just got a little bit more stronger. And then around 9 o'clock I had my new midwife, who, yeah, so basically obviously the midwife swapped shifts, so the new midwife came over just to introduce herself, and she came to check me. And guys, you would not believe this, right? When she came to check me, she came with a student midwife, and the student midwife was like, can she have a go at checking first? And I was like to her, okay, that's fine, that's okay. So she checked me over, and she's like to me, I'm not dilated. So the other midwife was like, are you sure she's not dilated? And the student midwife was like, yeah, she's not dilated, like, she can't feel anything. And then the actual midwife, she checked to see how dilated I was, and she was like, yeah, you're literally 3 centimeters dilated. I was like, are you taking the piss? Like, I was about to lose my shit. Because first of all, not only have I been sent home twice and then I've come back and then I was put into the labour ward and I've just got comfy and I'm thinking I'm going to give birth, I've just been told that I'm not dilated, even though I was told I was dilated, right? So basically at this point I would have thought that I was 6 centimetres or 7 centimetres dilated, but I was told I'm not dilated at all. So I was just so stressed out, but in the middle I was like, okay, you know what, you're not dilated but you are having contractions, so we'll come back and we'll check you in a few hours. But if we do come back and check you in a few hours and you're not dilated, you are going to get sent home. I was just praying to God that I dilate, like something happens, right? And then obviously the few hours passed. In that few hours I had contractions that were very strong. Like I even went for a walk to help help dilate me and stuff like that. So I went to have a walk. I bounced on the birthing ball. I was walking. I was doing so much things just to be dilated enough or to even make some sort of progress. But then out of nowhere my contractions kind of stopped, and then the midwife was like to me, when she came and checked me, she was like to me, you're not dilated at all, you're basically at the same stage you were when I first came and checked you. And I just started crying. Like I literally started crying because I was just so sick of it. I was tired from it all, because not only do I have to leave Yaqub and Ayub at my mum's house, I have to, like, it was just too much, okay? Because if I was going back home, that meant I'm bringing them back home and then I'm waiting, and then it's just, I was just stressed out. And I've made enough hospital trips in that pregnancy that I did not want to make anymore. So I just started crying, and she obviously knew that I was just so stressed out from it. I was basically getting depressed from it, and obviously some of you may know that I do suffer from depression, so it was just affecting my mental health. And she could see that it was affecting my mental health a lot. So she went to speak to the person that was in charge of the ward that day, and they said that what they will do is help me start my labour. And that meant that they will put some gel, so they will basically induce me into labour. They didn't think I needed the drip at this point because I did have some contractions, because usually they will give you the drip if you don't have no contractions. Usually give you the drip if you don't have any contractions, but because I did have contractions, they thought the gel would work. So they gave me the gel, and that did bring on stronger labours and strong contractions. And I think I got the gel around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that was on the 22nd of July. So yeah, so I got the gel, and honestly it just gave me strong contractions, but then my contractions stopped again. So when the midwife came to check me again, and she could see that I wasn't getting continuous contractions, she was just like to me, okay, well, we have to try something different now. And I was 4 centimeters, so I only basically dilated 4 centimeters. So from 3 I went to 4, which was very slow. It was a very slow progress. So when she came back to check me, she was like to me, obviously you're only 4 centimeters dilated, so she'll get the doctors to come check me. And when the doctors do come check me, they're gonna break my waters for me. So when the doctor came check me and everything, it was 9 o'clock in the night, and they were like to me, okay, well, we're gonna break your waters and we're gonna kickstart your active labour for you. Oh my god, guys, when I heard that, you will not believe, I was super happy to hear that news, because I just knew after my waters are broken, I am going to get them contractions that I need to push this baby out. So honestly, I was thankful to the midwife that pushed that for me. So she pushed that for to have my waters broken, and I was just so grateful for it. So my waters were broken at 9 p.m. and after that I started getting very strong contractions, and this is when I knew I was in active labor. And oh my god, guys, I am not Like, I cannot even explain the pain because my first labor, I had gas and air and pethidine, and I was a lot more relaxed because I think my mum was there and she was able to relax me a little bit more. My second labor, I was induced on the drip. So they tried the gel first, that didn't work. Then I got induced on the drip, and obviously that was just very, very painful because it wasn't natural contractions. It was contractions that were brought on by the drip. So it was just 100 times more bloody painful. But I did have pethidine and gas and air. Pethidine is just something more stronger than gas and air. But this labor, one mistake I made is I took pethidine earlier on. So I took pethidine when I had contractions, but it wasn't so painful that I needed to take pethidine. But obviously I thought to myself, I just need to take it because it's just going to get stronger. So I took the pethidine, but I regretted it because my contractions obviously stopped working. And then when I did ask for pethidine when I was in active labour, they were like to me, no, they cannot give it to me because the baby's getting sleepy, and if they give me pethidine, it's going to make the baby even more sleepy, and the baby's not going to basically do what the baby needs to do to be born. I didn't get no pethidine. I was just on gas and air and I was just crying because I was in so much pain, and I felt like the gas and air wasn't working for me, even though I was inhaling it properly, because they like to me, inhale it in this way, just take slow deep breaths. When you get a contraction, this is when you take the gas. Don't take the gas before you get a contraction. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I was listening to everything because I was not out of it. I was fully in my senses, so I was listening to everything they were saying to me, but it just wasn't working for me. Yeah, so at this point I was just like basically dying, and they were like to me, obviously the next option is epidural, and I was like, no, I'm gonna soldier it, I'm gonna soldier it. I was literally crying to Jakob's dad. I was screaming at him. I even told, like, I'll call my mum, and I was like, please, I want you to come. I'm just so like, I'm so uncomfortable and I'm in so much pain, and they're telling me to be in this uncomfortable position because the baby's heart rate kept going low. And the midwife was like to me, okay, if it's this uncomfortable for you, we can sit you upright. So I was like, okay, fine, can we try that? So they made the bed into like a chair, so I was sitting upright. That was even more uncomfortable, but it was just a little bit more better than the other position, because the other position was like lying on my side, and it was just, yeah, it was just like, it was just ridiculous because my waters were breaking. So when they did put me, like, position me upwards and stuff, they were just like to me, okay, well, you're gonna have to like make sure you don't move it as much because the baby's heart rate is going down and then it keeps coming back up. So they were concerned about that, and that just stressed me out a little bit more. But yeah, so I was just in active labour, and my contractions were getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and then it hit around 12 o'clock, I think, so 12 a.m. so we went into the next day, so it was the 23rd of July, and it was around 12 a.m. my contractions were getting super strong, and at this point I was just like fully out of it because of the pain. And I was just telling them, like, I'm in so much pain, and she's like to me, she has to check me, and I'm like to her, no, I don't want you to go down there, I don't want you to touch it. She's like to me, but she has to, and blah 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 and all that stuff. And then she was like to me, okay, you know what, she literally opened my legs and she could see the head. She's like, you are ready to push. Like, when you get a contraction, push. And I'm like to her, no, I cannot push. You want me to push? I cannot push. And because obviously their baby is pushing at that moment, so you need to help their baby push himself. Like, I basically need to help the baby push himself out. So when I'm getting a contraction, they're telling me to push. But because I was in so much pain, I was just screaming. Like, I was just screaming at them, and I was screaming at my mum. My mum was so scared, and I've never seen her so scared, bless her. I could feel the burning sensation down there. Like, it was so flipping raw. I wanted to die. Like, I thought I was gonna die because I was just screaming and not pushing because I was so scared because I could just feel it. But the midwife was like to me, listen, if you do not listen to me and if you do not do what I'm telling you to do, I'm gonna go have to call the doctor and we're gonna have to help you get this baby out. So that basically means that they were gonna use like the machine, the crawler machine thing, and pull the baby out, but that's just gonna take even more longer. Because she was like to me, you're basically there, you can do it, you just have to listen to me. So I was like, so then the other midwife was like to me, okay, you just need to calm down. I'm like to her, what do you mean calm down? Literally, I screamed it like that. I was like, what do you mean calm down, girl? I cannot be calm at this stage. I am dying, yeah? So, yeah, so basically, they were telling me to calm down and I wasn't calming down, but somehow, yeah, I got it. I understood that fuck the gas ain't gonna work for me, and I just have to push when I'm getting a contraction, and I need to stop screaming, yeah? So instead of screaming, I need to push. So when my next contraction came, I just pushed. Oh my God. Literally, I did not want to push after that. I was closing my legs and she was opening my legs and I was trying to close them. And she's like to me, we need to get this baby out now. She's like to me, you need to listen and get this baby out right now. And I was just like, for fuck's sake, I have to do it. Because I have to do it. The baby's head was there. I just have to do it. So another 2 or 3 more pushes later, I gave birth to baby Musa. And I gave birth to him at basically 12:30, and I gave birth to baby Musa, and he weighed 8 pounds 4 ounces. So he was a very, very healthy weight, mashallah. But oh my God, I was just so flipping exhausted from it all. Like, when I carried him, he was such a beautiful little human being, but I was just like to him, boy, you are hard, you are so difficult. And I just started crying. I started crying out of joy. I started crying out of, I was just so emotional after I gave birth to him. And the midwife was just like to me, he's absolutely beautiful, you've just done so well. And I just felt, yeah, I was just flipping shattered. But I cannot thank the midwife that helped me through it enough. I cannot thank her enough. Like, literally, if she did not basically be hard on me and tell me that I have to do this, I would not have done it. Like, it would have taken me even more longer and I possibly would have needed help from the doctors. But luckily, because I listened to her, I didn't need any help from the doctors. I actually listened and I wasn't so out of it. I only had a graze. So that was, like, I was really happy about that. I didn't have to wait for any stitchings to come out later and stuff like that, because it's just a little bit more messier. But because of the graze just healed by itself. So I was just so, yeah, happy that it was just a graze. But basically, that is my labour and delivery story, guys. Most of the stuff I know I cannot remember as much, but what I can remember is what I've told you guys. And honestly, I am not gonna lie, like, labour is one of the most difficult things to go through in your lifetime. Whoever's been through it, you will understand what I'm talking about. Like, every labour will always be different. Like, all 3 of my labours were definitely different. I've had the different experience for all 3 of them. It was never the same. Like, after my first labour, the last 2, it was just completely different. Like, some people say the 3rd one is easier and the 4th one is easier, but honestly for me, I think my 2nd and my 3rd one were the most hardest ones, whereas my 1st one for me was actually super, it was very painful, but it was just a little bit more easier for me, I think. And I think that's because I was a little bit more calm. But yeah, it was just so stressful. But he did come on the 23rd of July. I really wanted him to come on the 22nd of July because Ayub was born on 22nd of November and Yaqub was born on 22nd of March. So I really kind of prayed he would come on the 22nd, but he wanted to make his own entrance and he made it on the 23rd of July. And honestly, he's so beautiful and I couldn't have like wished for anything more. So I'm so thankful to God that he helped me bring, like, basically I brought him into the world like just healthy. And yeah, he was like healthy and he was fine and there was nothing wrong with him. And I literally got released the next day, so I stayed the night, and then I got released the next day in the afternoon, evening-ish time. So that was really lucky, because with Ayub I had to stay like for a week in the hospital because he had joined us, and that was really stressful. So I think I was a little bit anxious after that, after I gave birth, because I didn't want to stay any more longer than 24 hours. That's it from me, guys, and I'm just gonna end the video right here because I'm not gonna ramble on. So yeah, so if you guys did enjoy this video, then obviously don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because it just means so much to me. I feel like we're growing, and we're growing as one big family, and I love that. And I love it when you guys message on the comment section below, because I get to reply back to you guys and communicate with you guys and stuff, even though my responses can be a little bit late, but that's just because of my hectic life. But other than that, I honestly love replying back to you guys. So make sure you drop me a comment in this comment section below, and yeah, share this video with your family and friends if you think they'll enjoy it. Yeah, so I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.